Hello and welcome to a brand new video from the Indian Millennials channel. My name is Rohit Kurpad. I bring about contextual information based on things that are happening in India, around the world, and also in our beloved marketplace. Today's topic happens to be a continuation of the previous videos that we have uploaded on our channel. It's about geopolitics and the implications of the geopolitical scenario that we are living in as we speak. Full disclosure though, today happens to be November 20th of 2024, and we are shooting this video on November 20th. And just giving you some context, it might take about 2-3 days for this video to be edited, and we'll be uploading it late. But whatever events that I'm going to be discussing about is based on today, that is November 24th. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had just visited Brazil, Rio de Janeiro to be precise, to attend the G20 summit. If you remember, G20 summit was held in New Delhi last year, and it was India that hosted the entire G20 presidency. And I did a complete video about G20 presidency and the significance of it for India last year, and the video is right here somewhere. Please do check it out if you are interested. But let's talk about G20 summit of 2024 and why it was very significant. This is the first time ever where the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, and Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, came face to face after literally ending all diplomatic relations between India and Canada, because right now India does not see eye to eye with Canada at all, and Canada also doesn't see eye to eye with India at all.
From that explosive accusation by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau that India was behind the assassination of a BC Sikh leader back in the month of June. India angrily rejected that claim overnight, calling in the Canadian High Commissioner and announcing that it is expelling a senior Canadian diplomat within the next 5 days. That's a tit-for-tat response to Ottawa's kicking out a top official from India.
Now, the significance of this summit means that both of them did speak, probably. They had back-channel conversations, and what does this lead to? Well, time will only tell. But also, something very interesting also happened. In the recent past, there have been a lot of summits where the Indian Prime Minister has actually attended, whether it's the BRIC summit or whether it's the G20 summit. There's so many summits that have come and gone, but also some things have happened for the better for relations between India and other countries. While India kind of basically broke all diplomatic ties with Canada, India is now inching closer to restore some sort of a good relationship with our big neighbor, China. As of today, the Defense Minister of India, Rajnath Singh, and the Defense Minister of China are actually meeting or going to meet in Laos later today. Like I said, today, the date. So don't come and troll me saying, hey, this meeting happened already. But yeah, this date. Okay? But apart from that, the foreign ministers of India and China both met, and there have been some serious discussions that have actually led to possible, restarting of the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, number one. Number two, resuming direct flights between India and China. Basically, you're saying Mumbai, Shanghai, Mumbai, Beijing, Delhi, Beijing, or even Bengaluru, Shanghai, whatever it is, but these direct flights might even come back as well. And apart from it, China's relationship with India is also going through some sort of economic stuff as well, because there's a lot of deals that can actually happen between India and China, and it's kind of restoring the relationship between two mega Asian powers. In all practical purposes, India and China are very, very significant countries in the world today. Purely if you consider the size of the nation, the location of these nations, and the number of people both these nations have. The two largest populations in the world, the two oldest cultural civilizations in the world, and also, more importantly, they are in South Asia and Asia, which is basically the largest continent as well in the world.
Now, as a result of the discussions that have taken place over the last several weeks, an agreement has been arrived at on patrolling arrangements along the line of actual control in the India-China border areas. And this is leading to disengagement and eventually a resolution of the issues that had arisen in these areas in 2020.
So, India and China, the significance of this relationship plays a very big role for the two other superpowers of the world, that is the United States of America and Russia. Russia shares a border with China, and Russia shares a strategic partnership with India. And Russian President Vladimir Putin also is planning to visit India to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Well, the last time he met Prime Minister Modi in India, he came very quickly he left, and then a few months or days later, guess what happened? The Ukraine invasion had also happened at that point of time.
Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции.
I'm not saying it was India's involvement was there. I'm just saying that, the president of Russia always makes it a point to keep coming to India as well. And obviously, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also visited Russia. So India and Russia are also, they see eye to eye on a lot of things. And India and China are also beginning to see eye to eye on a lot of things. This is basically a big deal if you really look at it from a geopolitical angle. We live in a multipolar world. And these three poles, which are considered to be mega superpowers, happen to be Russia, China, and US. So what are these three poles, and what do they have that other countries don't have? One hand, you need to have insanely huge amount of natural resources, which Russia has, which amounts to close to 72 trillion US dollars, which is huge. Number two, you need to have a huge economy in terms of having the highest GDP in the world, which the United States is number one and China happens to be number two. And number three, you need to have insanely good military capacity and military power, which all these three countries have in terms of advanced technology, in terms of number of people in the armed forces, and also in terms of having nuclear capability and capacity. Russia, America, and China have all these three things. You must be wondering, you will ask me a question, hey, even India has all these things. India has the entire thing. India has a good military, it has nuclear capacity, it also has the fastest growing economy. You're absolutely right. India does have a fastest growing economy right now. It does have the largest population in the world, and it also has nuclear capability, and it also has everything else. But still, we are not considered a mega power, we still consider a soft power. And there's a reason for it. Because if you compare a $20 trillion GDP country to a $3 trillion GDP country, $20 trillion wins hands down. If you compare the type of advanced technology that all these countries have in terms of military equipment, well, India is still not as good or efficient as China, America, or even Russia are. If your country is still importing arms from another country, which happens to be one of these superpowers, you still can't be considered a superpower. But things are changing thanks to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is actually entering the defense sector. And Indian defense companies are actually building capacity to ensure that we stop or we limit our imports of military-related equipment, especially from Russia, Israel, and France, who happen to be our three main defense suppliers. Let me tell you this. With these changes that are happening right now, we can definitely expect some sort of turbulence in the Indo-US relationship, because there is some turbulence that can be expected regarding high tariffs that can possibly happen in the US, or some other policy that can come up in the US thanks to the new president, Donald Trump, who will take over the office of the president of USA in just about a couple of months from now.
Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States.
But you will also see some changes in terms of better relationships, or maybe some sort of cordial relationship between India and China. Do India and China see eye to eye on everything as of now? I don't think the answer is completely yes, but I also feel that the answer is not completely no either. India and China are going to get cordial. They may not get friendly, they may not become best friends or BFFs as what Gen Z likes to say, but yet they will be a little cordial and the relationship might get better. But when there is some sort of a bettering of relation between India and China, it's always the Indian companies and the Chinese companies and all these players who actually win, because there's a huge access to a new market for Chinese products, and there's a huge access to capital that Indian companies can look at from China. I'm just saying this, we don't know what the regulations are going to be, we don't know how it's going to work out, because we have to also understand that there were a lot of apps that are made in China that are still banned in India.
The Indian government has banned dozens of Chinese-owned apps over apparent security concerns. Now, the list includes the messaging service WeChat and the wildly popular video platform TikTok. Relations between China and India really degraded since a border clash 2 weeks ago left 20 Indian soldiers dead.
For example, TikTok is still banned in India. And that's why everyone, whatever they were doing on TikTok, they are now doing it on Instagram. That being said, there's so many things that can happen better, but you should keep a watch out on this, because you never know. This has a ripple effect on even the job market situation. If tariffs increase and if American companies are investing a lot more money into India, that means jobs might increase. And if China and America both look at India as a marketplace to hire people, then guess what? Guys who are looking for jobs, all you have to do is skill up, get to the point where you have enough skills, because maybe the job market might boom in the next 1 year or so. When you look at Russia and India already have a very good relationship, but again, the economics of it is still not yet we're not completely sure of it. When I say sure of it, I'm not talking about the big giants of Indian industry. They know what to do with it. I'm talking about all of us, you and me and everybody else. How can we leverage a good relationship with Russia to probably do better things? Do we have access to the Russian market? Can Russian companies come into India? Do we have opportunities there? Well, we have to look into all these things. So that is something which we will do a detailed video on as well, about Russia, India and China and America, and seeing how it will actually help and kind of make sure that we get opportunities and we get better jobs as well. That is something which I will definitely create a video on in the very near future. But today's video is all about understanding what's happening in the world and where India is standing right now. India is moving forward with a lot of policy changes. Our policy fundamentally has not changed for a long time, and it will not change as well. But we are doing the right things for the country. Foreign policy plays a very, very big role, especially in a world that is literally in chaos right now, with all countries having a lot of issues with each other. We might have stopped diplomatic ties and relationships with Canada, but our relationship with America might even get stronger. So there are a lot of things that I've spoken which are hypotheticals, all of things that I've spoken which are possible, but I've also given you all the facts that make me feel why these hypotheticals can actually become a reality. Like they say, hindsight, you can say anything you want. But I'm just saying that these are just small few predictions that maybe the relationship between India and China will become cordial. It will definitely add significant value to the economy of India. And if it adds value to the economy of India, it's all about how smart each and every one of us are to seize a different opportunity to make something out of it, which is worthwhile for us. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters, doesn't it? I hope you enjoyed this video about this entire geopolitical scenario and how it affects you. If you didn't, do respond to me on the comment section. Do join the Discord server as well. Let's have debates. Let's have as many debates as possible. It's okay if you disagree with me. It's okay if you agree with me as well. And it's okay if other people are commenting and having disagreements as well. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, when you argue with somebody, one thing is for sure, you get a new perspective, and the other person also gets a new perspective. So let's challenge our inter belief system and everything, and let's try to do something good for us by looking at the whole world in a proper way. Until next time, this is Rohit Kurpad saying thank you very much for watching this video. Goodbye, take care, and see you next time.